It's Tuesday, August the 5th, 2025. The time is 6 o'clock. I ask the meeting call to order. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioner Ackrey?
Here.
Commissioner Downing?
Here.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Tubby?
Here.
Mayor Washington?
Here.
We have our quorum and are duly qualified to conduct business.
Thank you very much. No presentation. Seeing none. Mr. City Manager.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I have a couple of items. I'm sure by now everyone's seen the condition of Madison Avenue. We would ask the public to be patient. The project will be finished within a few days. It's exciting. This is something we wanted to do for quite a while. The end result is that Madison Avenue from River Center all the way to the city limits on Latonia Avenue will be freshly paved. Another item I have, it was announced today on the city's website that several departments are going to be partnering on some educational classes. These are focusing on public safety, quality of life, sustainability. They're taught by police, fire, public works, and economic development. These are free to the public. They're not to be confused with the Mayor's Academy. Last thing, Mr. West has asked to notify the public that zoning permits are no longer required for roof replacements. That's been determined by Regulatory Services and also the legal department. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Bales. Any questions? One question. Commissioner Tebby.
Just for those classes that the city will be doing, is that open to all ages?
It is. We're actually, some of them are being conducted already in schools by our solid waste division and also stormwater.
I had a Holmes High School student's been reached out to me just for things to be involved with, and I want to send this over to them.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the city manager? Seeing none, some housekeeping. We have a walk-on request by the city attorney. Madam Clerk, if we can handle that as item number 17, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And without objection, Pete Nerone would like to make a presentation at next Board of Commissions meeting, legislative session next week on Linden Grove Cemetery, the Board of Overseers update. Without objection, we'll list that as first item of business. Madam Clerk. Item number 2 on the agenda, Administration. Director Wetzel.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. I have a request here for an order authorizing the transfer of real property identified as parcels 138, 353, and 366 of the Brent Spence project from the City of Covington to the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, and all documents required to complete the transfer. So this is 3 slivers of property that belong to these parcels along the Brent Spence Bridge corridor on the edge of Goebel Park. Part of the transfer is a transfer of ownership in the right-of-way for the highway, and then in addition to that are adjacent slivers for temporary easement for construction.
Any questions for the director? Seeing none, without objection, consent. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Director Lewis.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The first item I have on agenda request item I have this evening, I'm actually, just for housekeeping here, I'm going to go through the first 3 of these, and then Chief Dye is going to come up and he would like to speak to his fire department hires. So the first one is a request for an order accepting the resignation of Douglas Todd Redman in the Public Works Department effective July 31st.
Any questions? Seeing none, consent.
Next is an order accepting the promotion of Harold Cleet. He is a working foreman, Stormwater Division, and this would be effective August 13th.
Any questions? Seeing none, consent.
Next is an order accepting the resignation of Officer Jim Lindeman in the Police Department effective July 31st.
Any questions? Seeing none, consent.
Okay.
Thank you. Chief Dye.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The first two items are two resignations. The first one is or accept resignation for firefighter paramedic Greg Kling, effective August 19th. It was Gibson.
Stand by one. We've got police promote. Number 6 and 7 from the police department.
6 and 7.
Cool. Okay, that's okay. Director Lewis, item 6, right?
Apologies, I was working on an old agenda.
That's okay.
So this would be number 6 and 7, order accepting the hire of Colton Williams as a police officer in the police department, and that would be effective August 17th.
Any questions? Seeing none, without objection, consent.
And an order accepting the hire of Damon Hasner a police officer in the police department. Again, this would also be effective August 17th.
Any questions? Seeing none, without objection, consent.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Gibbs, correct, Chief? Starting with Gibbs.
Okay.
That's what my order is.
Yep. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Order to accept the resignation of Colin Gibbs. So Colin is one of our cadets. We started the part-time cadet program. Covington residents, recent Covington school graduates. Colin's been with us since the beginning of the cadet program. We've sent him to EMT school. We've sent him to fire recruit school in Greenville, Kentucky, which he completed. Colin has just decided, which I applaud him as a young man, to decide that now's not the time for him to join us full time. He is going to continue with the paramedic program, but just wasn't ready, kind of age-wise and at this point to join the department full time. So I wish him the best, and I think he's still kind of part of the family and still look at this as a success for the cadet program.
Any questions? We wish Colin the best. Without objection, consent.
The next one is an order to accept the resignation of firefighter paramedic Greg Kling, effective August 19th.
Any questions? Without objection, consent.
So the next, number 10 is 12 firefighter EMTs. Or do you want me to do them one by one, or you want to list them?
We can do. Let's do them one by one. We can.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So the first one I have is Mike Lee Jr. All of these will be effective August 25th of this year. These 12 hires are from a lot of retirements, resignations that have happened over the past probably year and a half, and gets us back up to our full staffing of 122. Mike Lee Jr. is the first one.
Without objection, any question, consent.
The next one is Nolan Kresser, again, August 25th.
Any questions? Without objection, consent.
I have Ethan Lebowski, effective August 25th.
Any questions? Without objection, consent.
Matthew Murray,
Without objection, questions, consent.
Sam McKee,
Any questions, objections, consent.
Andrew Work,
Questions, objections, consent.
David Carlin,
Objections, questions, consent.
Carly Egbers,
Any objections, questions, consent.
Landon Meyer,
Any objections, questions, consent.
firefighter Brett Barnett,
Any questions, Objections? Consent?
Number 11 will be Mitchell Dye, effective August 25th. He is a second cousin of mine, just to make everybody aware.
Okay, I think that's, yeah, all right. Any objections, questions, consent? The reason for my pause is we have a personnel policy that governs relationships, and it does not fall under that policy because it's the second cousin. Go ahead, sir.
The last but not least is firefighter Andrew Button. He's probably the most exciting one for me. Again, like Colin, he was the beginning of our cadet program 3.5, 4 years ago. Andrew is a graduate of Holy Cross, a resident of South Covington, pretty well his whole life. He is one of several children. His mom is a teacher at Holy Cross. He has successfully completed his EMT course through Gateway Technical College, spent 13 weeks in the Fire Academy in Greenville, Kentucky, getting all of his basic firefighter certifications. Additionally, he has fulfilled all the prerequisites for Gateway Paramedic Program, which he was scheduled to begin in August, but that is when recruit class will start, so he will start paramedic school later in the year. But Andrew is a great young man, and very exciting for me of a cadet program that we started for the Covington kids, and he will be the first graduate. He is number one on the hiring list, so I think will be a great asset to the city and to the program. And we've already talked to him and kind of look forward to using him to help the next group of cadets, how we can tweak the program. We've learned some things to do better and more efficiently, and he's going to help us along to kind of tutelage the next group of cadets that we'll have coming in.
Any questions? This is absolutely outstanding. I know a few years ago this Board of Commission met and talked about how important it was to have a cadet program in our fire department, and you guys are hitting a home run with it. It's deeply appreciative of that. You know, I point to our police department. They've had a cadet program for quite some time. And a matter of fact, there was a cadet that just became a police chief from the police department. So hopefully we'll see that with the fire department. Not right now, though, right? Because you want to stick
He's got
around.
a few years.
He's got a few years.
Hopefully, yes. I think it's an excellent opportunity. We appreciate it. It's been great for the kids. We've, had some washout to the program, but, like I said before, even with Colin, he has grown up as a young man tremendously. We've opened a lot of doors of opportunities to him. Hopefully he comes back, and Andrew's just a rock star and is going to be a shining star for this program.
It's just outstanding. You think about kids that walk our neighborhoods and they can imagine themselves in fire trucks and police cars and public works vehicles and code inspections. They're very honorable professions and very good jobs. And I know this board is totally behind our kids being civil servants. So thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, did I accept him? Did I move him in the agenda? Well, I know I was yapping, but. No. Well, without.
I don't think you did.
Okay, without objection, consent. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Public Works, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, tonight we have a request for an order approving a contract with VS Engineering. It's for the 36th and Park runoff and improvement design project. If you recall, the Commission entered into a contract in September of last year for design of this project. It was a one-year contract, but it did not have a renewal clause. So essentially we're asking for a new contract for the remainder of the contracted funds with VS in the amount of $240,731.76.
Any questions, Mr. Bales? Seeing none, without objection, consent. Thank you, sir. Mr. Holmes.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have two items for your consideration this evening. The first is a request for an order for the mayor to execute a contract with Eaton Asphalt Paving Company for street and curb improvements at the intersection of Altamont and Highway Avenues in our Botany Hills neighborhood. This is in connection with the Ripple program that was put in place several years ago, where Business leaders were able to come up with projects. The VU Good is contributing about $50,000 to this project.
Any questions for Mr. Holmes? Seeing none, without objection, consent.
The second item I have for you this evening for consideration is a request for an order for the mayor to execute a purchase option disposition development agreement for the city-owned property located at 609 Patton Street. This is a site that the team has identified as potential 60-unit development for a low-income housing tax project. If the commission approves the option, we will move forward with applying for tax credits, and if awarded credits, we'll start construction next year on 60 units of senior housing that will target incomes at 30 to 80% of the area median income. So, very worthwhile project.
Any questions? Just a comment. So, this is 60 units going in into one of our neighborhoods by neighborhood investment partners. And just to give the public an idea of who's going to be qualified for this, is if you're a single-person household, your income would be between $17,000 and $47,000 a year, or $8.48 an hour to $22.62 an hour. If it's a two-person income residence, your income would need to be $21,450 to $57,200, or $10.31 an hour to $27.50 an hour. And if you're three-person residence or family, $25,650 to $68,400. So just to give you some idea of people that would be eligible if we can get this project off the ground.
Our working class families, and seniors actually.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So without objection, consent. Mr. Hammonds.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. As you know, the American Rescue Plan provided much needed relief to address the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, including over $2 million to the Northern Kentucky Home Consortium, led by the City of Covington, for homeless assistance and supportive services. Following an extensive consultation process with local service providers and a thorough needs and gaps analysis, we identified key priorities that went into an allocation plan that was approved by HUD. Those are affordable rental housing, supportive services, and homelessness prevention and shelter diversion. Out of our total HomeARP funding, $695,103 was allocated specifically to support eligible services for HUD-defined qualifying populations. In response to a public RFP earlier this year, we received 10 strong proposals totaling over $2.5 million, far exceeding our available budget. City staff carefully reviewed all proposals using RFP criteria that emphasized alignment with priority needs, regional reach, and potential for long-term impact. After the vetting process, we are recommending awards for 2 proposals. And the first one is Legal Aid of the Bluegrass, and that's $157,917. Legal Aid proposes to provide no-cost legal services and outreach to individuals who are homeless, at risk of homelessness, or victims of domestic violence. This program serves all consortium cities and directly addresses housing instability by helping individuals avoid eviction and remain in their homes. It also reflects a proven model similar to successful efforts recently implemented in the city of Cincinnati and nationwide. Actually, Senator Booker and some members of the House introduced a bill not 2 weeks ago called the Right to Eviction Council. So it's a pretty big deal nationwide. Legal services are often the last line of defense for low-income renters, and this proposal is timely, targeted, and impactful. We recommend awarding the funds.
Any questions? Seeing none, consent.
Next is Northern Kentucky Community Action. NKCAC's proposal is innovative and transformative. It would establish a universal screening system across all NKCAC programs to identify individuals at risk of homelessness before they enter the crisis system. This forward-thinking approach embeds prevention practices into the agency's infrastructure, ensuring long-term benefit beyond the one-time nature of home ARP funds. While their original request was for about $586,000, we are recommending an award of approximately $537,186 due to funding constraints.
Any questions for Mr. Hammonds? Seeing none, without objection, consent? Thank you, sir. Okay. As you note, we have a board appointment. Mr. Mays returning back to the Code Enforcement Board. Without objection, I ask that he be put on a consent. And then item 17, walk-on. Mr. City Attorney.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. For your consideration tonight is a request for an order authorizing the mayor to execute all necessary documents, increasing the maximum authorized bond amount for the city's IRB as it relates to the Two Rivers project. So the Two Rivers building is the building that Fisher Homes is going to be moving to here in the next couple of years. The original amount on the bonds are, I think it's $13 million, and Fisher plans on making capital improvements anywhere from $10 to $15 million. So this would, in light of that, the property owner would like to increase the value of the bond to reflect the incoming capital improvements. These amendments would not in any way affect the existing bond term, the lease structure, the amount of indebtedness, or provide any new incentives. So it really won't change anything for the city.
Any questions for Mr. Schultz? Seeing none, consent.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay. As you see, we have a second reading of ordinances that will be voted on at the legislative session next meeting. If you have any questions or concern about the ordinances, first I direct you to our website where you can read them in full, and then please reach out to your elected officials. Okay. Commission discussion items. Any commissioner have a discussion item? Seeing none. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Tebby.
Just for the city manager, there was some conversation around the construction that's happened at 20th and Scott where they took the island out, you know what I'm referring to. There's a lot of confusion from residents because the right lane's a turn lane to go straight. I assume the assumption is they stay in the left-hand lane and then come over when they're going north or south, but can we put some signage or anything there?
Yeah, we intend to. That is a part of the Scott and Greenup conversion. So one of the first things they're doing is moving the island. They're still waiting on a mast arm pole in order to do the resurfacing, but in the interim, we're going to put some signage up.
Okay.
We acknowledge it is confusing.
Okay. It was a hot topic.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. I have a comment. Tonight is our first commission meeting since the July 17th incident on the Roebling Suspension Bridge. I want to address the public's interest in the internal affairs investigation being conducted into our police department's response. While that review is underway, we are committed to being as transparent as possible with the findings. It will take as long as needed to make sure it's thorough, professional, and fair. Everyone deserves that. Internal Affairs will lead that review, and we will allow the process to move forward with the professionalism and objectivity it deserves. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.